To get started, I will be taking 1.5 pounds of chicken breast and placing it into a shallow pan of water to bring to a boil. I'm also going to be adding a couple cloves of garlic, about 10 whole peppercorns, some fresh green onion that I needed to use. You could use regular onion. I'm also going to be adding a couple sprigs of cilantro and a couple pinches of kosher salt. I will be covering this with a lid, and I'm going to bring it to a low boil for about 30 minutes. Now on to the tomatillo salsa. Here I have a pot of water, and I'm adding 1 jalapeno and 1 small onion halved and 1 pound of tomatillos. And if you want more heat, add more jalapeno or use serrano peppers. I'm also going to be adding some garlic, about 5 cloves. You can add less if you don't like that much garlic. And I'm just gonna bring that to a boil and let it go for 10 minutes. Okay, so now my chicken breasts are done. I'm going to remove them from the pan. And I'm also going to reserve about 2 cups of this broth because I'm going to make a rice later. You don't have to do that, but I like to be resourceful in the kitchen. Okay, so I have shredded the chicken, and I actually added a couple tablespoons of the chicken broth just to make sure that it doesn't dry out before I get to use it. So at this point, my tomatillo salsa, or the tomatillos and jalapeno and onions, are already boiling. They've been boiling for about 10 minutes, so I'm going to remove them, drain all the water out, and now I put them into my blender. Now I'm just going to blend them. And I just realized I forgot to add the cilantro. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of fresh cilantro and just continue to blend it. And after that, I'm going to add, and I did this off camera, I'm going to add some powdered chicken bouillon flavoring. You could also add salt if you don't want to add the chicken bouillon. After that, I'm going to set that aside, and now I'm going to work on my corn tortillas. And I suggest you do this. Don't skip out on this because this part is going to help your tortillas become pliable and easier to roll your enchiladas without breaking the corn tortilla. So here I've taken just a tablespoon of oil, and I'm just not really frying it. I'm just heating it through because you don't want it to get crispy. You just want it to get nice and loose and pliable. So not even 30 seconds in the hot pan of oil. I'm just going to remove it, and I'm speeding things up, and I'm going to do about 18 of these. Okay, so now the tortillas are done. On to the next item of business, my cream sauce. So here I have 2 tablespoons of oil into a saucepan. And I'm also going to be adding 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And if you haven't figured out yet, I'm basically making a bechamel sauce. You don't have to do this. You could totally add sour cream into the tomatillo salsa and, some cheese, but I really think this just makes it a decadent recipe with this sauce. So I'm going to cook out the flour, and after about a minute or so, I'm adding 1 cup of whole milk, and I brought it to room temperature. You don't want to add cold milk into your roux because it will just basically bring the temperature of the pan down and just mess things up. So whisking away, and you do not want lumps, so you add the milk little by little until you work out all the lumps. Okay, next I will be adding 1 cup of Mexican Crema. This is basically like Mexican sour cream, but it's looser. It's not thick like a regular sour cream. And I'm just going to add that as well and whisk. You could use 8 ounces of regular sour cream, but I just like Mexican Crema. So now I'm going to be adding a 1/2 cup of a cheese blend. This has like manchego cheese, Oaxaca cheese, quesadilla cheese, asadero. So you could add any white cheese, mozzarella, Oaxaca cheese, Monterey Jack is also good, but I went with this blend, and later I'll show you what the bag that I got. That's it. That is my cream sauce. So I'm going to set that aside. And now we have all of our components to make our delicious Enchiladas Suizas. And here is the bag of cheese I was talking about. Here I have a 13 by 9 baking pan, and I'm just going to roll out my tortillas or my enchiladas. I'm just filling them with the shredded chicken breast and rolling them tightly and seam side down, placing them in the pan. Now, there's 2 ways I like to make my Enchiladas Suizas. The way I'm doing it now, putting it in a baking pan, I'm going to pour over the Tomatillo salsa, then add the cream sauce and then some shredded cheese on top, and I bake it just until everything melts. But there is an easier way. Basically, I just roll out my enchiladas and I place them individually on a plate as I serve them, and I just put over the warm tomatillo salsa and the warm cream sauce, and that's how I serve it. No baking involved, and they are just as delicious. Okay, so I managed to fit 14 in there. So now I'm just going to pour over the tomatillo salsa. And you know what? This wooden spoon's not gonna cut it. So I'm gonna get a bigger spoon. This is much better. And now I'm just going to spoon over the tomatillo salsa all over my enchiladas. Okay, now I'm going to ladle over our cream sauce. And lastly, I'm going to sprinkle some extra cheese. I'm going to bake these in a preheated oven of 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes or until all the cheese is melted. Okay, now that the cheese is all melted and gooey, I'm taking them out of the oven and they are ready to serve. Well, you might want to let them sit just so they don't all fall apart, but I promise you, these enchiladas are delicious. And here are the ones I was talking about, where I just roll the enchiladas, serve them on a plate with warm salsa and the cream sauce, and no baking required. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.